Right, I'm just going to assume it's working because I've got no idea. I don't know. I'll move my hands round. It shows that it's live. It goes like this. Oh, there's one. I don't know what kind of this is. All right, that's the thing. All right, hi. Hopefully this is working. If you can type something in just to tell me. I was going to show you something. I'm going to try a little tester and then like fingers crossed somebody types in and sees it. So this is what I was showing, how you could do something live. Hopefully this will work. The isolation is driving me mad and it's not doubling. So I'll try it. So I used to get down and bug myself, but now I get up and I hug myself. I don't mean to come off like a teacher or mosque and none of that stuff. Keep eating the chicken and pork, it's real talk. That's why I'm keeping it smooth. I express my feelings while I'm making you move. See, I'm willing to lose a whole heap. Left confused in the chance that they regulate your laying shoes. Oh, I don't know if I'm on. Facebook might be wrong, or might be right. Tonight we'll see. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So anyway, basically, what I've done there is I've arranged that all in one clip. So let me go to launch, screen, and go to knobs of screen. And if you can see, all of these little dots on here are the sequence. So I want to show, I've shown this before, but I want to show it again and how you can make a sequence just using one clip. So that's just one clip what I've used to make this sequence. And you can see the little dots. If I can zoom in, can I zoom a bit? To zoom in a bit, you can see there's little dots here. And those little dots there are the clips. Wish this live thing. Yeah, so how I did that is shift clip and I'll go launch and note. And if you can, yeah, of course you can see. Each one of these is a little 4-bar section. So all I did is I just bounced them down into lines of pieces. I've shown this before, but like I say, I
don't think about it,
so that's
but I don't need to worry so much. I do think about it, but I don't need to worry so much. I do think about it, but I don't need to worry so much. I do think about it, but I don't need to worry so much.
Because I've done them into 4 bars pieces, it's just easy to arrange. So that's what I do whenever I make these songs on here.
I think about it, but I don't need to worry, no, I don't need to.
So I'll quickly show that. So somebody were asking about how you would do modern hip hop on here. So I'm going to try and show that. So I'm going to start by completely wiping this and starting a new. Press new, don't save, and voila, done. Hello for everybody who's joined in. I'm really hoping that right, something's come up. I don't know if I can see it, but somebody's wrote something. So I'm going to assume that there are 2 people, right? All right, okay. I can't, for some weird reason. All right, hi Julian. Okay, you didn't miss out. For some reason, I can't see the live discussion thing, but I'm aware that people can hear it, so that's good. So that. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Somebody wanted to do me to show some like modern hip hop, and I'm guessing to show how could I do beats or how I would go about it. So that's what I'm going to start with. And I'm gonna use just what's in here for anybody who's curious about Akai Force. Anybody who's tuned in and saying, "Oh, well, what's this about? Who's this guy? Why is anything?" All so on and so forth. So the Akai Force, it's packed full of kits and sounds. Really, if you didn't have any of the expansions from the MPC, if you had an MPC before, I'll give you a tip. If you've had an MPC, whatever you do, don't delete the software. Keep the software, because the software, I found out, doesn't move. So once you get an Akai Force or an MPC, if you've got an MPC, any of the new ones, not Touch or anything like that, easy Al! If you get any of the new ones, what happens is that software's kept for you, so you can keep it. Just don't delete it, copy it off or whatever. But you can use that, because I found that out. And then it says, no, it's fine, just send it off. When I sold my MPC live. So anyway, getting back to this. So like I was saying, there's loads and loads of kits that you can work through. As I've said before, I'm kind of sound agnostic. A lot of times, it's different sounds. Hello, Jennifer's Delatowski. I butchered your name there, sorry. But hi. Ahoy, if don't know, your church. You might not even be from the Baltic area at all. So anyway, hello. So what was I on about? Oh yeah. Sounds. So I'm sound agnostic, but there's a load of sounds. So I'm gonna choose. I think that one will do for me. That's nice. So I'm gonna load that up, and I'm gonna use that, and I'm gonna show you how I would do a kind of modern. Easy Sean, a modern like hip hop thing. It was Joseph, sorry, unless Joe. Anyway, so first thing I always say is go to screen, because screen gives you all the controls. It'll always give you the controls. So if I go to like clip mode, I get all the controls. I'll get all the controls for whatever it is, whatever page I'm on. I'm going to always get the controls. So that's why I always say use screen. Make sure you use screen while you're in this. So a modern. Here's what's interesting about a lot of modern hip hop stuff. They started off at 140, but I've noticed a lot of the newer stuff, and I'm not here. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am a hip dude. You know what I mean? I'm not. I like boom bap stuff. I like my hip hop as hip hop. I don't mind some of the trappy stuff because I think it's interesting, and I observe it, but it's not my thing. So I don't know your young fuds from Rich the Kids, from the Rowdy Piper or Rowdy Wrestlers or Young Chicklets or whoever. I've got no idea. If I hear something, I go, oh yeah, and I don't know the littles. So I know there's a Little Wayne, and there might be someone with a little more, a little bit over here, a little bit of that. So I'm just saying, by what I've heard, this is the kind of stuff I realise. A lot of it used to be at 140 and 150. A lot of it now, I've noticed, is slowed down. It's like 130, it's 127. The Migo stuff, I guess they're probably out of date now. But I noticed some of the Migo stuff and something else, the Little Pump stuff was like 140. So I'm gonna try and meet in the middle. I'd say 135. Like that guy who did that. I want a Bugatti. Something about a Bugatti. So anyway, what you tend to find, what I've tend to find, and I've said this the same with when it was with the drum and bass. If you look on my YouTube channel, you'll see drum and bass one, like a tune what I did with drum and bass. And I've always believed this. If you get the drum pattern right, the genre will work. As long as you get that pattern right, it'll work. And all the genres are usually based on like old music from like the 60s on. So I noticed a lot of trap stuff is just a slow hip hop beat from back in like the 1970s and 80s. It's like, right, but they do it at halftime. I'm going to prove that by doing something as a normal thing, and then I'm going to stretch it out, and you'll see what I mean. So I'm gonna change it from 135, and I'm gonna say like, I don't know what speed of old hip hop. Old hip hop's about 112, all that Rapper's Delight kind of stuff. That clap's not so much. Do you know what? I'll tell you what. Just to make sure this is true to what it is, I'm gonna press search, and I'm gonna go to hip hop. No, I'll go to trap, because then we'll definitely have trap sounds. We'll have that, Bryson. Right. Okay. How many people are there? Is there anybody? All right, 7. All right, 7 people. 7. So, like hip hop beat 112, right? And we've got a kick. So we'll do that. We'll use that kick. Right. Now watch this. So I've got that in there. I'm going to have that flat, and I've got all my kit there. So I'm just going to press launch to launch the sequence, so that'll play. So after 4 count, I'll play in, and I'm going to do an old school hip hop beat style, and then I'm going to half time it, and you'll see what I mean. So here we go. Yeah, some of that. I wasn't quite sure on the end of that. We'll keep it in. So we've got all this. So it's all like an old school thing. Yeah, because I wasn't quite sure there. So I'll move that one. I'll move that there. And I think maybe this one. Okay. So we'll move that. Maybe that. That might work. Let's see. Yeah, that'll do, whatever. Right, so now I've got that beat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to speed that up, say 135. 135. So that's like some weird ass drum bass thing. Maybe I could have done cat. Yeah, I'll get rid of that. I'll go do cat. I'll delete that. Well, so I'll finish this off. Right, so we've got that thing now, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to halve that speed. So I'm going to halve the speed of that. So now that's over 8 bars. That's over 8 bars, and then the only thing I need to do there. And this is where, and I'll keep it in clip mode so you can see. The clip shows you all the pieces that you have, or you need to make this sound, and the sound. So if I press this button, you can see what it is. It's like a piano roll, right? And the thing what makes all of like modern hip hop is just the triplets. Making sure you've got triplets in your thing. So what I tend to do is I tend to use the ARP. By pressing ARP, as long as I hold my finger on that, then it doesn't stick. So now I can change between these, and it's the triplets. The T usually makes them. So here's my point. So, all right, now record that in. Let's do it as a 4 count. And there's the triplets. That'll do. So we've got a little thing now. And then all we need to add is like what I've noticed is there's two types of this kind of stuff. I'm gonna just, like I said, I'm ballparking this because I'm going off of just memory. So some of this is not gonna be. It's not gonna be accurate. It's not gonna be the hippest thing because I'm literally ballparking this. I'd have to go on YouTube and listen to Rowdy Piper or Rich Rowdy Little Mover or whoever, Jiggly Bones or whoever's the hip kid now. So I'm just saying the rough. You can see. Anyway, never mind. So, what another thing I've noticed is it's usually there's something melodic. Now, if anybody's been watching what I've been doing with this stuff, there's two ways of doing it. I could either use the app to come up with something by just pressing the app and then just pressing some notes. Obviously, that's too fast. Why? Because I had that on 16th keys, so it probably wants to be, what is it? So that would be like eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could either do it this way, which I'm gonna, just for the sake of it, I'm just gonna press whatever notes. My golden rule, shift and note config, and I'm gonna make it minor scale because minor, like I say, is always down and it's mysterious and so on and so forth. And then I'll get something like a lead. I'll try one of these lead sounds. What's this fire one? Maybe I'll try that. And I'm just going to press a couple of notes and hold them down. Yeah, that's trash. Let's see. Yeah, this thing. So I could do something like that. But you know what? Why make life hard? Since I've got the app, if I press shift and I go app to config, why don't I make the app do the work? By going to pattern, and then I just go down and I look for a pattern. I look for any pattern that I think would be interesting. Is there anything that I'm looking here? Is there any leads? Anything? There's chords. There's a world of chords. Let's see if it's got anything here. Right, some leads. Let's try one of these melodic dubstep leads. See what that's like. Hello? Right, so is that on now? Okay. So we want that double time now. Yeah, that sounds trash. Not feeling any of that. So do you know what we'll do? We'll do a mixture of both of these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that pattern. I'm going to go to note, shift note, and I'm going to make it go and play a chord. So there's a chord now, harmonize. So to repeat that again, I've got app on here. So I've done app, I've got shift app, I've put it into pattern mode, I've put it on 1/8, and then I've gone down to melodic, and I'm using the melody here to make the pattern that I want, and then I've gone up to shift note, and I've put it into harmonize, and what harmonize does, it'll try to find a chord, and I've only done like 3-note chord, so triad chord, that's 3 notes, triad, and then I've just put it into minor so that when it's on minor, it's going to make some kind of, it's going to play through, so it's going to go praying, and then praying. Is that working? All right, this only plays on Facebook app. Isn't available on my browser. You plan? Yeah, Pete. Yeah, Pete. I'm going to put it on YouTube after this is live. If you can type in, anybody who's on live, if you type in this sidebar, I don't know if this is working or not, but if you can, that would be great. Because I'm just assuming that it's working, or I might be talking myself. Anyway, back to this. So I've got me and then so maybe I'll have that. So let's try it with the drums. Right, so let's record that in. I don't know what that's like, but we'll try it. Right, that did some weird ass bend there. Now let's keep it. Let's see what. Now let's see if we can find some. All right, and then maybe what we can do is we'll get bass line. So let's copy that across again, and we'll go find the bass. So I'm gonna I've created a new plugin, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put it on, like, I don't know, say this kick sub, and I'm gonna copy this rhythm across and see what that sounds like. It might be trash, you never know. You try these things. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring that down an octave. But I'm gonna just do it really quick, so I'm gonna just make it like that. See what it's like. So maybe we'll add some notes. Try that. Yeah, I'll try a different bass, so I'm not feeling that brilliant. Maybe that. We'll have that, or not, why not? So now I've got all that. What I could do is say, right, I know it's C, so maybe, I don't know, I'll go just for the sake of argument, because I've got an audio thing here, got one of these audio things. I could go and find an audio clip. So I could say, right, I want an audio clip trap, but I want it because it's C minor. So I could have A or whatever. There's a C, there's something. This would have worked. Look at this is trap bass already. So I could probably add that in. But let's keep going, we'll find something melodic. There, that's in C minor, so we'll add this in now. There you go. So now I've just got instant trap tune. Oh, wait a sec. It'll help if I press play on that. Oh, my bad. One more thing. As I stated before, I turn off warp. I actually turn off warp. I've set it in the thingies because I don't really like how this warp stuff. It's a bit funny. So again, press that. That's warping. Let's have a look. Yo, the mystery of love is such a. I don't know. No, it's a triplet flow in it. So on and so forth. You get the idea. I'm going to assume that you get the idea. That's how you could roughly do it. So that's one thing. So let's move on to something else. I'm going to try and see if I can find any questions. Just base. Let me see. If I go back to YouTube, I might be. Hopefully, right. Oh, right. There is. Is there a way to scroll? Right. Okay. My internet is terrible tonight. I'll drop off. I guess. Okay, no worries. Yeah, safe, Julie. Right, Colin. Is there a way to scroll up and down clip when you choose knob mode on the screen? It shows horizontal. Let me get my head around what you're trying to say. there a way to scroll up and down in the clip when you choose a knob? Oh, right, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Right, no. Before I get rid of this, I'll show you. If you want to go up and down a clip, I'm guessing you mean in a MIDI clip, you use select and you have to use the magnifier. If you use a magnifier, you can go up and down. You can't do it that way. The only way you can do that way is you'd have to select something and then, right, wrong way around, and then use transpose and go up and down from there. So you could do it that way. Yeah. And while I'm here, I'll show you another thing. So, like, I've done that. Oh, this is wrong. I've put it in wherever that note is. Say I'm like that, and I'm like, and I say, yeah, that's not doing alt for me or anybody else, right? If I'm really stuck and I say, oh, I don't know, I've got nothing, I can let the computer do it itself. So let's say we'll go back to this. I can, and as I've showed yesterday, this is the third time I showed it. I can go create a clip, press edit, and then randomize events. Make sure that when I randomize events, I make sure it's in minor. Turn that off. Make sure that I want it low enough because I want to make it. Oh no, I want it as a riff. So I could have kept that where it was. Let's keep that where it is and see what riff it comes up with for that. So I'm playing this now. I'll play it. So, and if I think that's too busy, bring that down. Maybe it doesn't want to be all that. So like now I've got a rough idea, maybe just where that's landing isn't quite right. So to me, it's that's too late. But that's fine, because if that's too late, I can select them, press nudge, move them forward. What? So yeah, so that's how you can do that. So I hope that answered that question. Joe, how did you do that special search? Right, the special search for trap. All you do is you go to load. I'll clear that. In search, next to search, you'll see there's a little magnifying glass. So I go to kits, go to the thing that you want to find, and you can do this on Splice. I've not used Splice. If I ever get Loopmaster, I'll use that straight away. But Splice to me, I'm not interested. So what you do is, say if I want to go to kit, I go to kit, and then I go next to that little magnifying glass and I press that. The magnifying glass shows you it's got all different types of headings. So up at the top, even though the symbols show like that, it doesn't matter because it's the word what it searches for. So for example, if I want to look at future based stuff, I press that. It's showing me all the future based kits here. So let me go and I'll do a new, and I'll do a future bass. I don't even know really how future bass goes. It's quite melodic, and I'm feeling quite melodic. So let's do a melodic thing. Okay, so let's try something future basses. Anybody got any genres or anything that they're wanting to do? Tell me, because I'm just flying by the seat of my pants or something like that. So my golden rule, always put the screen on, so you get this. Anybody who's not got an Akai Force, they're really good. They are, and especially in this time, it's worth having one. You know what I mean? You're locked in, you might as well learn something. Anybody got any music query questions as well, music related? I do know a bit. I'm not lying, I do know a bit. Even legalities music wise. Certain things that I've learned now are like how Facebook mutes stuff, so that's interesting. Anyway, I digress. What am I on about? Oh yeah. I'm gonna do a future bass. What I always like to do is I like to always delete and start blank. You don't have to. It's just what I like. So, future bass. So let's do a future bass thing. So I'm gonna go hits, and I'm gonna go to the magnifying glass, go search, and I'll type in future bass. So again, there's so many idea starters with this machine because when you play some things, you can hear that. You can hear the kit. It might hear something. Something might give you an idea. Like I like that kit. That sounds like a tough kit to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it melodic. That's what I've decided. I'm going to make it smooth out and melodic. Somebody else's. Is that somebody typed in? Oh no, that. See. Oh no. Right. So. Doing. I shrink. Right. Okay. So. I've got myself a kit, nice kit. Launch a note. They're your friends. Launch a note, your friends. I'll tell you why. Because sometimes it can get confusing if you just have note by itself and you're like, eh? That's one of the things you need to look out for. But if you don't, if you keep in mind that you've got launch a note and you make sure both of them are highlighted, it means you can work quite fast because you can press that and then you're already in there. So whenever I want to record something, it's ready to go. You don't have to do that because the other thing you can do is you can just have it on note as an example, right? Because I'm working on this tune. And then if I just want a C launch, as long as I just hold it, I can press to get to launch and then I can go back to notes. So you don't have to, same with step sequencer. If I would program some drums in, like for example, I'll do it now. I've got my finger held on step sequencer. Step sequencer automatically creates 2 bars. So before I do that, I'll flick that back and I'll go to launch. I'll put it on the top one, and then I'm gonna say I'll start with a kick there. So it automatically does it. So it's 2 bars. Well, it would have done it to 2 bars. It did it to 4 bars. Oh no, that's 2 bars. Course, what am I on about? 2 bars. How do I know that's 2 bars? Let me talk about the step sequencer a second. Right. If you press the step sequencer while you're on step sequencer, remember this, I'll say it this way because this could be confusing as well. If you do a quick press, that moves it to whatever it is. So if I quick press launch, it's on launch. If I quick press note, it's on note. If I quick press step sequencer, it's on step sequencer. After I do a quick press, then I can go into the second options by pressing hold on that thing. So, for example, I'll give you an example on launch. On note. If I press note, and then I press this again, it's going to give me all the time divisions here. So always keep that in mind. It also has a second function. I'm not quite sure if launch has a second function. Let me check that. So if I press launch and hold it, no, launch doesn't have a second function, but step sequence and note have second functions. So the step sequence, I press it once, and then I press it again and hold it. This brings up the functions on this. And what I've noticed is it's particular because it knows that this is a drum pattern. It knows it's not polyphonic. I don't know how it does it, but it seems to know. And I'll show that because at the moment, I've just got this drum thing in here. But if I create a plugin and I do that again, it brings up a whole load of different choices. It brings up melodic choices because it knows this is a plugin. That's really good. Now I can choose divisions by moving here and doing it here, but again, for me, there's a lot of button pressing when I don't need to have a lot of button pressing. So the best way of doing it is using the dial. So if I ever want to change the step sequence when I've done it, I just move the dial to the one I want. Or if I don't even want to do that, because like I said yesterday, there's always 3 different ways around doing that. I could be in this. So I'm in here. and I don't want to be pressing this to do that because that gets me confused. All I have to do is press note and hold. My bad, no, take that back. Take that back, you can't do that. Ignore me, I got giddy. If you're in this and you're in that, let me go back to this. If you're in this and you're in that, use this. Use the dial. That's why I always say set up screen, because it's just going to make your life a load easier. So, future base, I've just created. I'm going to show that again. So, and I'll show you again. If I go and I hold launch now, I'm in launch, and this is what's brilliant about this machine. You can press about 9,000 buttons and it'll still do the operation that it needs to do. I've held this now, and if I want to delete this sequence, I can press delete while I'm holding launch, and it'll get rid of it. And then as soon as I let go, I'm back to where I was in the first place. If you want to, depending on how you program, I like to drum stuff in, because the more I do it, the better I get. I can't think of drum to save my life. Shout out to Nick Tricassa, Nick, Beatmaker Nick, Tricacas, yeah, crack. Anyway, that guy who does the beats. I tried to say people's names right. I'm sorry. I apologise if I butchered your name. I apologise to anybody whose name who I butchered. I can't even say my own name. I'm struggling here. I'm trying to be a better human being. Anyway, like I says, use the dial to do that. If you don't like drumming, like I say, you can use the sequencer. And if you get confused with this, because I feel people get confused with this when they first start using this, and what they do is they set up the fixed length. I say don't work through it. Work through it. You'll get better at it. You'll get better at it. So anyway, let's try and do this future bass thing. And I'll try and do it with the step sequencer. So I'll press that. So that's the first beat in, and it's 2 bars long. So I'll go burr. No, I'm not doing that. It's going to take too long for my ass. So I've got my 2 beats in, right? I'll put metronome on. I can play the rest in, and then I can fix them if I don't like them. And as I've said before, you can never go. My bad. You can never go wrong with a tune as long as you have on the 2 and the 4. You have the snares. So if I know the wrong one, of course, because I'm an idiot. Do you know what? I don't even know what tempo future bass is. I'm gonna say. Well, it's going to be around here. I don't know. Somebody tell me if future bass is a different tempo. I can't remember. It's not future. I'm just going to do something. We'll see what it is. It's going to be the whatever-ish. So again, I can record things in. But do you know what? I'll do one better than that. I'm going to undo that. So we've got. I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to get rid of them drums. And I'm going to make the computer do it for me. So I'm going to go to random events. And the only thing I'm going to get rid of is I'm going to get rid of the first one because I want to control the kick. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to see what it comes up with. So go. Oh, wait a sec. I have to add them in. So I'm going to add one bit in. Right, I'll add that in, so now that exists. And then I'm going to make it get rid of it. So it's going to get rid of them. So, to show that again. Wait, did I create one? Oh yeah, I did. What am I on about? You know what, I keep forgetting I actually created a clip. So, got a clip. It's a blank clip, and I want to show this again. Press edit, random events. I'm getting rid of the first kick, because I'm going to program that kick in. I'm going to keep the variation pretty simple. I'm going to make this a bit more dense. 25, halfway. And I'm going to put a bit of swing in this. I think. So let me go back here. Put a bit of swing. Go back in. Go here, random events. And go. Let's have a look. So now, if you look, that kick, it didn't do all. Everything else, it's done stuff on. So if I play that, so that's too busy for me. And what I can do again is I can break down, see what's all right. Yeah, that's all right. And those claps are so quiet. They're not okay. That's all right. That's too much for me. So I'll take that back off solo, and I'll go to here. So take that back off. Right. I'll solo that. Take them off. That way. And claps. Yeah, that's alright. And here's the thing, I can change the velocity of that clap, because maybe it's too loud for me. There's a tink somewhere there. That's too loud. I like it, but it's too loud, so I'm going to quieten them. Maybe 2, 3 in there. Yeah, maybe that. Now, for me, that just feels a bit too fast, so let's go back to Matrix and slow it down. There's something else. Still feels a bit too loud. So if it feels a bit too loud, I can turn that down. Panic, maybe even. Have that there. Just have that and one. Yeah. So I've got myself a little rhythm there, whatever that rhythm is. And look at that, I added 2 notes. The computer did the rest. No, I added 3 notes because I added another one there. I got rid of something, but that's just made up. So yeah, I'm feeling that maybe. So then, now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put in some chords. Nice chords. Where have I got that? Put in some chords. So what kind of chords will I do? I'll do something floaty. So I'm going to get a pad. You know what? I'll even though this has got some really great sounds, just for the sake of argument, go back. I'll go and I'll use Tube Synth, because Tube Synth, really, really good. Some really nice stuff on here. Really, really nice. So, shift, no. And shift. And, because the life's too short on, well, I don't know. As soon as, like I said, when people give me questions, it's better. Because then if there's something that somebody's wondering about and saying, oh, how does that work, or how would you do this, then gives me opportunity to show you. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use progressions. My favourite thing, one of my favourite things, so many things, which, but I'm going to use progressions. So me and my minors, do you know what? I'm not even gonna choose it here. I'm gonna leave this because I'm gonna make the chords dictate what scale I use. So I'm gonna go to progressions. I've done some progressions myself. I'm gonna use one of my own. No, I'm not. Do you know what? I'll keep it. I'll use a pop one, just so that everything I'm doing, anybody else can do in here. So I'm going to use a pop one. I've used pop one, I think, before. Oh, good lord, that's a bit busy. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm going to use a pop one, and I'll go. I'll see what another one's. Yeah, that's not doing up for me. Me personally, I like soulful stuff, so one of the key things sounds soulful. That really. Oh. This sounds like. So far, only number one is working for me. Yeah, no, it's really poppy. Oh. That could be interesting. Yeah, we'll go with that. That sounds interesting-ish. So, launch, notes. Oh yeah, I've got. Go back to record now. Oh, that's not what I played. Oh, it's down there. That's what. But what I could do is, I'll tell you what. Let's bring the arpeggiator into this. Okay, well, that's a bit too floaty. That works for me. Let's go. Help if I record something in. So remember, I've showed this before, but I'll show it again. What you can do is there's two ways of doing this. You can either press up there and record, but remember to always place something that you can go to actually by pressing a pad, or you can press a pad. So what I mean by that, just so that you understand. Now that's saying that's ready to record. But if I press record now, it's got nowhere to go into because I haven't pressed record on here. So always remember that. Also check this. So it's like three places to check. Number one, the record's on there. Number two, the record's enabled. Record's enabled, because if it isn't enabled, if it's like that, it's not enabled. And then the third, press to go. So, and now, do you know what? I'll tell you what we'll do. Is that a plugin? All right, that's a plugin. What we're going to do is we're going to use the arpeggiator as well. So we'll get the arpeggiator, and again, go into the arpeggiator. So at the moment that was in up, but because we're using them, we've got them chords, and them chords are still there. I can just change the way that these chords will play. So maybe I'll make it go down. And then there's also variation as well. So always keep that in mind, there's variation. So what shall I do? I'll make it, no, I'll just make it play as is. So we'll have that on there. Maybe we'll make that eighths. We'll see. We'll find a bass. let's try a hard bass. I've got no idea what these are like. Amphemic. Right, so. Okay. Let's see what that's. And we can change this. And a good way of changing this is if we keep it open. So we've got that open now. So we've got all these controls here. Now, so no, we want something funky. So that's just normal ones. Bouncy. Let's try variation. Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, see, that works. And then I'm going to change that bass to make it deeper, but let's see. 3 and... Did I get that? Okay. So, couple of ways around this. I could do this. This bass is too high, so I'll solo that just for the sake of it. I could select all of these like this by going here to grid. Grid, always remember, clip gives you the length of the clip and how it's like Ableton. All of the Ableton things where it's like the beginning, how the loop starts, the length, if it triggers, as it triggers globally and everything is in clip, right? And you can set and move the set start and blah, blah, blah and all that lot, and time corrections in there. I don't know why time corrections in there. It would have made more sense if time correction was in grid, but I don't know, I didn't make this. So everything else though, for all of the bits is in grid. So remember that. And in grid, there's shift for the other options like cut and paste and duplicate and blah, blah, blah. So if I press shift and then press select all, I've got all of them. As opposed to if I went and pressed it here and selected them and I'm like, oh, that's faffy, because maybe there's a bass note down there or something like that. So now this is too high for what I'm liking. So there's a couple of ways of looking at this. I could either go here, zoom out this so I can see it a bit more and say, right, use this as a datum. I don't know if anybody's done engineering, that's as to say, use this as a bass mark. So if I say I'm going to use that C to D here, and then all I have to do is go to transpose, and then as long as I keep an eye on that, and I move down or up, then I just can say to myself, as long as I keep my eye on that, and I move that to D, that's going to be right, and that's low. The alternative as well is if I say I found that too awkward, which I don't think it is, but let's say I just did for sake of argument. Does it do it by? Is it done it all the way back? No, you have to go all the way back, right? So there. So I'm back at where I am. Am I? No, one more. Right, I am back at where I am. Right, there I am. Okay, right. I can do this. I can go to, let me just check if you can do it in clip. No, you can't. I can come out of here and I can double press on here and this brings up all the track settings. And what I could do is I could just transpose it. And there's two ways you can transpose it. You can either move it down like that, or the plus and minus by, if I press minus, it automatically tells me it's minus. That's brilliant that they put that in there, and then I just say 12 and I've done the same thing. The only difference with that is the whole track is now down. as opposed to the notes. I suppose the thing is, reason why you might not want to do that is, say if you've got something that you're using as a bass, but you want it to go high or something like that, or you just want to keep it non-transposed, you could do it that way. No, it's neither here nor there. You can go through the presets on here as well, so I've just changed that now. So that sounds alright to me. Do you know, because I've got these little headphones on, as opposed to these big massive things, I have to kind of guess that sounds alright. You might hear that better. Let's see. So that's a bit busy. What I could say to myself is, that's alright, but I'm not feeling them drums. So what can I do? I can go load, and then I can just change this whole kit, and maybe happy accident I come up with something else. Sorry, do one more thing. Turn off auto, because it'll do that on every one. You drive yourself nuts. So whenever you're not needing to use auto, turn it off. So some of that kit sounds alright. Yeah, I'm moving the one, let's see. That's the one we had. Alright. Apart from that cowbell, we could change that sound out, so I could go into there, and then again using, I'm already in Future Race or whatever, but I could search and then go into here and I'll say, I don't know, what's that, I don't know, some kind of percussion. Oh, so now I probably wanted to turn auto on because I want to hear percussion before I load it up. Right, maybe that, load that in. Okay, so now maybe I like that, but I think it's too loud. So I've got all my positions there because I can see them. So maybe I'll say, no, I want that lower, I want that quieter. So there, I'm going to make it dead quiet, say. And I can check it before I swap them. So there, so now I just replace these. Maybe that one, I want that accent, but I don't want it so loud. So I can check the accent before. So that accent I want now. Now maybe that's too loud for me. So that's, I've changed that accent now, and that's how quick I could do it. And it did stick on there because I held it. So I've got me thing. So that's how that pattern was made. Truthfully, I'm not feeling that pattern, but you know what? We'll let the computer do another pattern again. So again, create 2 bars and have it randomize. No, do you know what? I don't even have to do that. I'm going to show you something else. So, what do I like in there? Maybe I don't like that. So I can select all of that and I can delete it, because as soon as I press this and it highlights them all, I can go back. I can go, if I wasn't in grid, because I wasn't in grid, I can just press delete and it'll delete all of that. So let's have a look. That sounds better to me. The only thing I don't like is got reverb on. I'm not a fan of too much reverb on stuff, man. It floods out tracks. And I could probably fade that by putting it to that there. Maybe a little try a bit. Yeah, maybe a bit more. Something like that. So yeah, so that's an idea of a tune, and let's see how long have I gone here. Yeah, I've done about an hour. So I think there's more. Is there's anybody who's got any other questions, reactions, questions? There. I have no sound coming out either headphones or speakers. Meters show the meter sound going up and down. Right. Well, I'm guessing, John, that must be just you on your side because nobody else has said anything about there not being sound. So guessing fine. So I've done about an hour there. I think I've done enough. Right. As I said to you, and I've said before, I'll say it again. If you tell me, if you ask me questions, I'll try to demonstrate them here. This one's just a quick one. I'm formulating an idea how this goes. I hope this has been helpful for you. I've enjoyed it. They always say, in this time, stay safe, wash your hands. All right, I'll catch you tomorrow, probably same time. And I'll leave this on here and I'll put it up on YouTube as well. All right, peace.